You get gathering this information over a period of years, and I just wondered, was it initially kind of you wanted to satisfy your own curiosity to find out where these things were all leading? Obviously, you'd seen the flying triangles, several times, 3 times, and you'd seen one, twice, and then one on the ground. You'd spoken to other people. I just wondered what the point was where you kind of went from a thinking, well, I've now satisfied my curiosity. Now I feel I need to take this to a wider audience. Was there some particular event that made you, want to disclose, or was it just a gradual thing, and you couldn't really pick a point when you thought, yep, I'm now going to publish this in some form?
I think at first it was just, when you only know a couple of pieces of the puzzle, it drives you nuts because you want to know more, especially if you have a high IQ and you're curious like we were.
Yeah.
And we all had such unusual experiences with the government. So absolutely, it was curiosity at first. And then as we started to look at the bigger picture, it upset everyone that we had technology. Now, I can understand having defense technology and having it top secret or secret. But what we couldn't understand is some of the stuff they had, for example, propulsion technology, which would make cheaper technology. And then, the X-15, for God's sake, could do, 6.5 back in the 50s. And for all practical purposes, was in a suborbital space. So even using, say, 60s technology, there's absolutely no reason we couldn't have built a one-stage to orbit vehicle. In other words, one stage means you take off from the ground and go into orbit. So we would have spaceships. So for people to think that the best we had was the space shuttle in the 80s and 90s, it's just obscenely stupid, because we could have done that in the 60s.
And of course, you were one of the few, very small number of people that could see that, because of what you knew was, from working with the advanced aircraft that you'd worked with, and the other, your buddies, you could see that, you knew that, whereas the rest of the public, they probably were aware that advanced aircraft had been developed, but they didn't really know what the specifications were, because they were all classified.
Yes. So, there was clean, there's no such thing as free energy. There's cheap energy. In other words, you have to build stuff in order to get cheap energy. So this misnomer, there is no free energy, because you have to build a device. There's a cost to build it, and then probably some kind of startup system that uses some energy before it becomes one over unity, and it's putting out excess energy, like low energy nuclear fusion with LENR. So there was the energy aspect. There was extremely efficient propulsion. We're still using propulsion technologies that are 20, 30% efficient. If you've got something that's 90% efficient, or if you've got energy devices that can produce more output than input, it could revolutionize the world. You could have virtually free potable water all over the world very inexpensively. So we have all this technology where we could change our world for the better, get rid of burning coal and wood, and have potable water for people that are practically drinking muddy water. It's the best they have in a third of the world. So after a point when we started realizing the vast array of technologies and engineering that was available that was being suppressed, it pissed us off. And at some point, we decided, well, how do we get the information out there? And we knew, even if we sent huge packages of information to all these TV stations or whatever, the different agencies of government have pretty much infiltrated all these corporate media. And in fact, there's no independent TV stations or networks. They're all owned by these massive media corporations, which control the information, and they all have an agenda.
Did you realize that back then? You know, had you already figured that out, or you know, you knew from experience, or you know, what were your thoughts back in the early 90s when you were going through all of this?
Well, it's just like the publishing industry, the media industry. These large corporations started buying up smaller media to where there's like 5 major media corporations in the world that control 90% or 95% of all media. So you can see it happening over time. That eventually the corporations and their agenda. I mean, for example, if a corporation like Fox, News Corp, or Rupert Murdoch wants to put out a conservative agenda, that's all they're going to put out.
Right.
And it's very slanted. It's extremely slanted to one point of view. And then if you've got, say, another corporation that owns CNN that leans towards liberal, then that's their agenda, and it's slanted. So we realized that going to the news media would not, somehow they'd probably figure out who the hell was doing it.
So you never even sort of tried to do that. You didn't think, right, well, we'll just, you know, do like an executive summary and we'll just then send it to, you know, New York Times or, you know, one of the big papers on the West Coast. You didn't really ever think you were going to do it that way.
Well, no, we didn't. We discussed different options, and then everybody knew I was a great writer because I'd written stuff for high-ranking government and military people. I'd given briefings, oral and in writing, that had to be damn near perfect. But, you know, you don't want to get up the Pentagon or Air Staff or something like that and screw up a presentation. So
yeah, of course.
And I'd written some short stories just for fun. So they decided as well, since you're the best writer, why don't we put as much information we can in a fiction book and see how well that goes. Right. And that's how the idea, it was really, originally we called it the Abductors. It was a working title. And then when I hooked up with Brad Steiger, Bob Silverstein is my agent, and Brad Steiger, my co-author, we realized somebody already had a book out, fiction book called The Abductors. So we changed it to Alien Rapture, which I wasn't really happy with.
I guess that wasn't your title. Was that something that Brad Steiger came up with? I was going to ask you about that.
Yes, I believe it was Brad. He, I don't know how it came about, but we came up with Alien Rapture because of I don't want to give away the book, but basically because of the alien influence on humanity.
Yeah.
See, I wanted the book to be more about the technology and less about anything to do with aliens. I didn't know anything to do about aliens. I'd never seen one. None of my friends had ever known anything about aliens. So it was an area that I wanted to stay away from for credibility.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I had to write up this alien agenda as part of the plot, I think we did a good job of it, but that wasn't the point of the book. The point of the book was to get out true information in the guise of fiction.